Hey everyone, I'm Tom. I'm going to tell you my top 10 games as of March 2016, and this is just my favorite games. No real stipulations, just what I enjoy playing the most. Now before I actually really get into that, I want to tell you about two games that aren't on my list, but not because they're like numbers 11 and 12, but because they kind of float outside of that list. Those are, first of all, Magic the Gathering. I love Magic. I've played it for many years now. Anybody can just hand me a deck, and I can play it really well. Well, not really well. I can play
Any deck, phenomenally.
Phenomenal. I'm awesome at it. No, but I can play it without. I don't really have to think about it. It's become a pastime for me. So that's why it felt weird for me to put a numerical value to it, because it kind of, again, I feel like it floats outside the list. And the other one that does that also for me is Risk. Risk was the first game that I played that got me into gaming, where I was like, ooh, this is fun, it's not just Scrabble, right? But I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed different versions of Risk, and while I may not play it all the time anymore now, because it's what got me into it, I feel like, that holds a special place in my heart as well. But it's not on the top 10. Okay, now let's get to the real stuff. So my number 10 is Twilight Imperium. Or I guess 3rd edition, so TI3. But this may sound weird that I've only ever played this game once. Now, spending forever, one really long time.
We've still played it more than a lot of other games. We played 10, 15 times.
Yeah, when you add up the numbers of the hours and stuff, But I feel like I played it multiple times, all the amount of time I spent looking through the rule book. But when I played this, I was just floored. I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted. There's so much complexity and all that, especially with all the different ships. It's not just that they attack at different values or with more dice or something, they attack in different ways. These are stationed on planets and they attack when you move in, and these carry troops and you drop the troops on the planet, and then they have a land battle, and it's so thematic and so dense, and the strategy is so, again, dense in there. And I know that the political cards, this thing is going to happen now, nobody can do that, is a little bit wacky and not something you would normally want in a big game like this, but I think it works, because you vote and you have the influence based on the number of planets you've taken so far, so that doesn't bother me at all. I still really like it. I think it works really well with the game. Now, my number 9, I'm not going to be able to say it correctly. Cicadas, whatever it is, I like that game because for a lot of the same reasons that I like Twilight Imperium, but just watered down to 10%. Because it has the voting, and it has attacking, and it has strategic, it's area control, but it's you have these other things you have to build first before you can get those victory points. And the bidding alone is such a great mechanic. It's not just, I'm going to put some in my hand and then hold it out and, oh, what did you put? No. We actually had a scenario recently where I was playing a 5-player game, and the 5th player went to go bid on his first god, and all the other 4 players had bid 1, 1, 1, 1. So we're just now it starts, so I'm going to bid on 2 on this guy, so you have to switch to here, and then I'm going to switch to here, and then there was one guy who was I'm just going to bid on Apollo, and everyone went, no! Because that would stop the bidding, and nobody was at where they wanted. They were just trying to trick everybody else to bounce around, and I think that's so great, such a good way that they do that. And then my number 8 is Ultimate Werewolf. And when I say that, I mean the Ultimate Edition, with all the promo packs and everything. Wesley doesn't look happy about that.
It's a fun game.
It is. We play these social deduction games kind of a lot. We introduce new players all the time. And when we introduce new players into our group, we tend to do those social deduction games. That tends to happen a lot. So a lot of the same ones come up, and Ultimate Werewolf is just my favorite. We probably play Resistance almost as much as we play this, and I like this better, because in Resistance, I'm a spy. That's all I am. Or even Avalon. Okay, I'm a spy, and I know who these guys are, but I don't know who that guy is, or something like that. But in Werewolf, it's so vast, and so many different options, especially when you have all the promo packs that I have with the Leprechaun, who can change who the werewolves tried to kill, and this guy has to say werewolf on his turn because he's a teen wolf or something during the day.
Worst character ever.
But I love that. And you get eliminated first night, then you're out of the game. Yeah, but you get to watch and be like, I know what's happening and you guys don't know, and it's hilarious for you. Kind of, but you're like...
Good drama. You're just watching
I know. And I even think moderating is fun. I've played this game a lot, but I haven't played it in a long time because I always moderate now, and I still have tons of fun doing it. My number 7, Lords of Waterdeep.
Nice.
All right, y'all agree with that one at least.
It's a good one.
It's a Euro game, but not to me. I don't really like Euro games, and for me it was hard for me to say that it was a Euro game. I mean, it is, but I don't dislike it the same way that I dislike most other Euro games, like Catan, and I don't even want to list others because I don't really play them much. I just don't like them.
I only know Catan.
Yeah, so, Catan and the others.
The other expansions for Catan.
Yeah. But it's just, I think it's so, clean is the word I want to use for it. Because it's not like, oh, I have to do this, then I can do that, and then I can do this, and then I can finally get this resource that I really need. It's just, I'm going to come right here. No, you're going to go there? Then I'm going to go here. And you can see what everybody else is doing. A lot of people say there's not a lot of player interaction in this, and I understand that. But when we play it, there totally is. It's like, oh, he needs white. He ain't getting white, I think that's so great. And with the expansion, with Scoundrels of Skullport, it is so much better. Like, I'll still play the vanilla, but that expansion just... I'm never going to not have it in my top 10 now because of the expansion. I mean, it's probably not true, but that's
a radical statement. In your 25th year of life.
And then my number 6 is a Game of Thrones card game, the LCG, and I guess for this 2nd edition, because I never played 1st edition. And I only played this recently. Like, I just got into it a couple of months ago.
It just came out a couple months ago.
It just came out in like October or something, but I can't get enough of it. Mainly because some of the guys I play games with a lot are like really into it, so they drag me into it a lot more. But like, it's so good because there's so many different types of decks you can make. There's 8 houses now, and even then within those houses, all the backing that you can do. There's so many different, alternate routes to victory. Like I like Baratheon, where you just tap everybody out. Nope, you can never. That guy's kneeling. and I gain more strength because they're kneeling. Like no other house plays that way, and that is an awesome just the way that. It's not like Magic, okay, green is a lot of creatures and red is creatures, but they're a little bit more aggressive. Like, no. Every house is so different. And no matter how good I get at this game, every time someone's like, I'm going to do a military challenge at you with 3 strength, I still have to stop and go, okay, what are my options? Do I let it go unopposed? Do I, And that to me is phenomenal. But what I like more than that is Summoner Wars. I think this is a fantastic 1v1 game that is really easy to teach and yet has such deep strategy. Because I can teach the mechanics easily and then hand them a deck and say, well, a lot of you guys have special powers, so just read the special powers on there. And that doesn't take a lot of time to explain, but because of that, every game is different, right? And right now there's so many expansions out there, there's so many decks, but they're pre-made decks. I don't have to make my own. And I mean, I can, but I'm probably not gonna until I play all of them to death and I just, am sick of them. I'm like, okay, now I want to, mix them up a little bit. And I think that'll be years from now because there's so many. And when I play this deck, I play, deck A against deck B and then deck A against deck C. That's a different game. And that to me is just, well, I get so much value out of this, not just from the money I play, but from the experiences. Did I say money I play? Money I pay, and the experiences that I get from it is just awesome. And I love this game, but it's not a 1v1 that I like playing as much as this other one, which is my number 4, and that's Android Netrunner. And I have to say, when I first played it, Aaron is not. They're not into it at all. I've tried to get them to play it so many times. They're always like, yeah, no, I mean, it's cool or whatever. But because...
Granted, Tom's like, here, I spent 2 weeks building this deck for me. Here's an intro deck.
No, that's true. But, so... Most of these 1v1 games, like Magic, Dice Masters, I've never played Yu-Gi-Oh, but I'm going to assume it's this way, where it's like, okay, you start at this much life, I start at this much life, let's try and bring the person down to 0. Creature combat, even like Star Realms is kind of that way. This is a 1v1 game, that is so different. I've never seen something that is like this, where I'm trying to advance these things, or you're trying to just steal stuff from my hand. You're trying to just steal stuff from my deck. It's, what is it, like expected probability. That's something I've never seen in other games before, really, especially not ones where like you can, and the fact that there's deck building in it. If this was a game where all you could get was pre-made decks, I mean, that would make total sense to me. Okay, well, obviously it's really different from just putting in creatures and trying to take down somebody's life. But the fact that you can actually build tons of different decks, like the different factions, but all the different IDs that are within those factions, even those play differently. So it kind of blows my mind that this game exists, but that, you know, that it can have this variety. And the thematics works for me. I know everybody usually hates that, but like running on HQ, running on R&D, I'm glad it doesn't say run on the hand or run on your deck. I like that. That's cool for me. Then my number 3 is Marvel Legendary. Now this was my first deck builder that I ever played, so it introduced me to the genre, and I like deck builders a lot. It's not my favorite, obviously, it's number 3, but deck builders are really happy for me. I can play them kind of all the time. You know, it's kind of like Magic to the effect where you can teach me any deck builder and I can pretty much figure it out and we can play. But Legendary, because it has the 2 types of currency, and because there's so many different characters out now, there's so many different options that I think it plays just so, I don't want to say it plays smoothly, but I can really feel like I am those characters. You know, I feel like the characters play towards themselves really well. Like Wolverine is really all about attacking, and Hulk is all about just doing one amount of damage.
Smash!
Yeah, he smashes, but Wolverine slices a whole bunch. And that just does it for me, because I've been reading comic books ever since I was in like 4th grade. I have like 5,000 of them, so, and I love Marvel, so that's just going to do it for me every single day. And it's a co-op game, which I normally don't like, but for this, I really like it. It works really well. That I want this card, please don't take this card. I hate in deck builders like, you know, in DC or the Lord of the Rings ones where you're like, I'm going to play this, and that's an attack on you. Now you have to lose this card from your deck or something like that, or you have to discard a card. That kind of sucks. And hey, the villains that come out still do that, but at least, you know, you can just kind of go, oh, that's a villain, okay, cool. But you're not like getting salty with somebody about it, you know?
Getting salty.
Getting salty. Then my number 2 is Descent.
I cannot believe this is not your number 1 game.
Descent, Journeys in the Dark, 2nd edition. I have to say that whole long thing, but it's Descent. And really, it could be Imperial Assault too.
Should be Imperial Assault.
But I just picked Descent because Star Wars just doesn't really do it for me as much. And I think we're super divided on this because you don't really like Marvel that much. And I was just talking about how much I love superheroes.
I don't dislike Marvel, I just don't care about it.
Well, dude, Star Wars. I mean, I don't dislike Star Wars, but I'm just like, I mean, it's good. I own 0 Star Wars games right now. Do you know that? And you have, well, mainly because I'm like, oh, Wesley's going to buy it, so why would I buy it? But if Descent was a Lord of the Rings game, oh, hands down, you know. But it's the Runebound universe, or what's it called? Terran Off, you know, which is, okay, a little bit more generic for me.
Nerding out a little bit here. But.
Nerding out. But it's one of the ones that we've played the most, pretty much. It's like D&D, but on a table. So if you're not want to be really imaginative with the story, and, you know, I know you can use miniatures with D&D, but, you know, since the DM, you don't have a DM, you have an overlord who's playing against you, then you're actually playing a game. You know, it's not just like some guy who's running it for you, you're like fighting against them. So then you work together and you feel like you're co-op, but you're not really, you know, because this guy it's not a deck that's against you, it's this guy making decisions against you. And with all the different, the hero and monster packs and all the expansions and everything, there's, again, a lot of options. And, I mean, you don't have to play it as a campaign. I think that's probably the best way to play it. But you can just be like, okay, it'll take a while, but hey, you want to try this game out? Okay, let's bust it out. Let's play one scenario, and then you'll be like, that game was awesome. So now let's organize doing a campaign together, because that would be great. You know, the fact that you can do that, I think, is awesome. Now we're on to my number 1. My number 1, drum roll. My number 1 is Cosmic Encounter.
Excuse me.
Let me go ahead and say, if you do not like this game, like Wesley clearly doesn't, I understand. I really do. It's not for everybody. It's so wacky that I can definitely see why some people are just like, I'm not doing this. But for me, it's fantastic. One thing you may have been noticing in everything I've talked about is I love options. Hey, welcome back. I love tons of options. I love how Legendary has all the expansions, all the Netrunner decks, Game of Thrones, the Twilight Imperium, because I love options. And Cosmic Encounter has this to the nth degree, which is a phrase I really wish I didn't say. That sounded stupid. But there's, even let's take out all the expansions and all the player powers you can have, all the alien races. Let's talk about, because one of the things I love is how you don't play the game, you play the players. It is a big deal for me. But let's talk about when one player goes to play a negotiate card and so does the other. It's like, okay, hey, I'm going to play this negotiate card. Are you? No. I'm definitely going to play it. We should negotiate because I don't want this to happen. So let's, I'm playing a negotiate. I'm doing it. Okay, we're doing it. All right. Oh, you didn't do it. Or I didn't do it. Like, even just that. And that's a mind game right there. And there's so many more. So many that I haven't even played. Base game, like with the flares, I've only played with the flares a couple of times. 9 times out of 10, we played just vanilla base game with a couple green powers because I'm usually teaching a new player. I mean,
no one will play with Tom a second time.
Because when I first got this game, I wanted to play it so much that now these guys hate it. Or maybe they just hate it.
The first time I hated it.
But it's the more the merrier with that. I think it is, like with 6, 7, 8 players is phenomenal. So I'm always trying to get more players, so then I have to have new players, then I have to play the vanilla, but I don't care. I'm not like, man, I never get to play with the technology cards or with the rewards deck. Why not? That sucks. I still have so much fun every time I play it. And because it's so wacky. And I've heard people say that it's like Munchkin and how wacky it is. No, it's not. Don't you dare. It kind of is. But in Munchkin, it's a lot more like, oh, I'm going to play this card, and there's nothing you can do about it. Suck it up, take that. Whereas in Cosmic Encounter, I think there's a lot more like stuff you can do about it. A lot of more, all the alliances you can make and all that. I'm going to play this card, well, I'm going to play that card. Or even if somebody plays a card against you, it's not going to be that detrimental to you. Never really. And because it's so wacky, if somebody wins, I'm never like, oh, he beat me. I'm always like, he won because of BS reasons, but that's this game. Or I won because I bluffed my way to winning. Like, let's just play another one. I'm never like butthurt about it. Like, oh man, that was really, why?
Wasted 4 hours.
Yeah, I wasted 4 hours.
I feel like I've wasted time playing this game.
You probably feel like you wasted time hearing me talk about this game.
I left because of that.
I know. I was here while that happened. Did you see that?
I was not here.
So, but yeah, I could probably talk for hours about why I love this game so much, but that's about it. That's all I'm going to say on that. And that's my top 10. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, go ahead and tell me some of your games that you love down there in the comments, or go watch some of our other videos. They're all awesome, except for the ones with this guy. Those ones suck. And hey, subscribe and you'll never be bored.